Hey, what's up guys? I'm Ben 2000 YGO. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and today, guys, I'm bringing some dark magic. Stick around. Alright, so today's video, if you haven't guessed by the title, is I'm going to be showing you guys Dark Magician beating the teetotal dog snot out of Sky Strikers. Why am I going to be showing you this? Well, this stems from a story that I had on the Team FTK Facebook group. And by the way, guys, if you guys need updates for this channel, that's where you go. That's where I will post stuff. So if you're a fan of Ben 2000 YGO, make sure you go to the Team FTK Facebook group. I will make sure there is a link in the description so you guys can go check that out and follow them, so that way you guys are up to date with what's happening here on this channel. Now, that being said, I got into a bit of debate with a certain individual. I won't say his name because, you know, he's not worth giving the recognition to. The point that I want to get at is I got into a bit of a debate with this person, and he tries to tell me that Dark Magician doesn't have a decent matchup at all against the Sky Striker matchup, which I, in turn, will be proving in this video that that is not the case. If you build it up to date, you build it with certain cards, or you build it with floodgates, you will have a way to fight the said Sky Striker deck. So, in the great words of that one wrestling dude that I don't know his name, let's get ready to rumble. See you on the flip side, guys.
Magician! Attack! Magic attack!
Alright, there you have it, guys. This is my Dark Magician deck. This is the deck I used to defeat all those Sky Striker decks you just saw. There is a little bit of variance between them. I did have a bit of a budget-esque version that played the Sacred Village in the earlier stages. But I also took some tips from Team Samurai X1 because the guy built a 6 Samurai deck that I really enjoyed. Or not the 6 Samurai deck, a Dark Magician deck. You guys know what I meant. A Dark Magician deck that I really enjoyed, and I saw that it was effective. I did tweak it a little bit for my own playstyle and my own budget, just a smidgen. In his version, he had impermanences. I have Chalice instead, which works just fine. And then I have, instead of Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, I have Magician of Dark Illusion. In the other variant that you saw in the replay footage, you saw the Sacred Village variant, and that's a little cheaper. So you can main deck Sacred Village, which, by the way, there is like 5 cards that can get to it. You have Triple Metaverse and Terraforming. You have plenty of ways to get to this card, and there's plenty of spellcasters you can play. Just make sure they get at least 1600 attack, and you should be fine. As far as for the most part, it's not going to take. It's not going to fix everything in every situation. You can also play cards like Called by the Grave if you're worried about Pancratops, or Hand Traps, which would not be bad cards to play. In this deck, the point that I'm getting at is there's a little bit of wiggle room for this deck and for variance, and depending on your budget. The point that I'm trying to make is that this person that I had a bit of a debate with literally said that this deck has a zero, no chance in hell of beating Sky Strikers, is basically the gist of their argument. So I present to you Dark Magicians defeating Sky Strikers. It can happen. There are 2 factors you need to think about. For one is build, and the second is pilot. If you're going to pilot Dark Magicians, I suggest you make sure that you know a little bit about the Dark Magician deck and how to pilot it. This deck actually has a lot of wiggle room, depending on your playstyle. There's 3 variants that I suggest you should try. You have the Sacred Village variant, as you guys saw in the replays, which is really basically this, but with you swipe out a few floodgates and then you have Sacred Village instead. I also suggest you play around with it, figure out what works best for you. And then of course you have this variant, which actually did really well, surprisingly for most of you, I'm sure, but not for me too much, because I kind of already been surprised once by Dark Magician's matchup. Here's the thing, Dark Magician itself can't be Widow Anchored. You have your Magic Circle here, which constantly is banning Shing stuff, like their field spell, their continuous spell, their monsters. You know what I mean? And then, of course, we have this handy-dandy little beast right here called Crackdown, which basically means it's Widow Anchor for everyone else. And guess what? I don't need 3 spells to make sure that I can steal your monster. And I can set mine, too. And I have just as much search and draw as you do. Sorry, that's me being a bit dickish. But yeah, that guy really kind of peeved me, so I decided I would just prove my point and have Dark Magician defeating Sky Striker and showing you that it is possible as long as you build the deck the right way and you know what you're doing. Obviously, I wouldn't say that Dark Magicians have the best matchup against every meta deck, but that particular thread, by the way, was the idea is you could have one good matchup against one particular deck. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed watching this this versus where I just pit a one deck versus one deck, you guys let me know if you really like that. I mean, I could start doing more videos like that where I just, you guys suggest a deck and then I show it fighting one particular deck, but that's up to you guys. I'll let you guys tell me that in the comments below. I do want to remind you guys, I do have a video coming for the Team FTK channel, so make sure that you go subscribe to that. Because that'll give you extra content from me. Also, I'm still in a race with Yusei YGO Pro, and as of making this video, guys, I am like 10 subs away from 400, which means we got to do a live stream soon. So get your questions going. Make sure you pay attention to the Team FTK Facebook group, like I said at the beginning of the video, because that's where I'll be posting ahead of time to let you guys know when that live stream is supposed to happen. FYI, the Q&A questions are pretty much no holds barred. You can ask anything you want. If it's too embarrassing, I'll just flat out say it's too embarrassing and not answer the question. But for the most part, you can ask me anything under the sun. Anything. It doesn't even have to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, but that's up to you guys. Yeah, I think that's all my announcements. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to Ben 10,000 YGO. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!